Good evening. Tonight we're going to start with lesson 23 in unit 2. Determine whether a whole number is a multiple of another number. I love input and output tables. They're so much fun because it's a challenge to figure out the pattern. So if 1 is going in to the table and what's coming out is 2, we have to figure out what the pattern is. What is happening to this 1 to give us a 2? Well, you could say 1 plus 1. Yep. But you got to look at the rest of the table to figure out what's happening. So here we have 3. What did we do to 3 to get to 6? You could say 3 plus 3 gives us 6. Okay? But the pattern has to be the same. Over here we did 1 plus 1, and over here we did 3 plus 3. But the pattern has to be same. So when we have to figure out what the missing numbers are in the output. Well, it's basically look like it's doubling, right? And when we talk about doubling, we're actually saying that we're going to be multiplying by 2. So we're going to multiply each number by 2 to get to the output. So 1 times 2 is 2. 3 times 2 is 6. 4 times 2 is 8. 7 times 2 is 14. And 10 times 2 is 20. So we could actually say, what are the multiples of 2? We could say 2 and 6 and 8 and 14 and 20 are multiples of 2. If I said, what's the third multiple of 2? It's basically saying 3 times 2 is 6. Here's another one. 2 is going in, but we don't know what's coming out. 5 is going in, and we get 25. We don't know what 6 and 8. 6 and 8 are going in, but we don't know what the output is. We do know that 9 is going in, and we got 45 coming out. So what are we doing to those numbers? This is why knowing our facts are so important. If we say 5 times what gives us 25, because we're going up, we're not going down. Well, I would say 5 times 5 is 25, and then 9 times 5 is 45. So we're multiplying, the pattern is multiplying by 5. So 2 times 5 is 10, 2 times 6 is 12, and 2 times 8, 5 times 8 is 40. So these right here are the multiples of 5. The third multiple of 5 is 15. The fifth multiple of 5 is 25. The second multiple of 5 is 10. Now we have something a little different. Our numbers are bigger in the input, and in the output they become smaller. Well, you got to think of the different ways that numbers are big and they go to small. All I can think of, subtraction and division. But again, if we're looking for the pattern, we have to make sure that the number and the operation is the same. So if 30 is going in and 10 is going out, we're either going to subtract or divide. And we notice that 15 is going in and 5 is coming out. So we could say, well, what 30 minus what gives us 10? Well, that's 20. But then we would have to do it on this one too. 15 minus 20, we can't do that. So obviously the operation is going to be division. What can we divide by 30 to get to 10? Well, we can divide by 3. And in the same thing, let's test our theory. 15 divided by 3, yeah, that gives us 5. So the pattern is dividing by 3. Each one of these numbers are divisible by 3. So 24 divided by 3 is 8. 21 divided by 3 is 7. And 6 divided by 3 is 2. If we review factors are the numbers that you multiply together to get the product of 20. But we can also say product could also be the multiple. When we say the multiple of 4 is 20, that means it's the product of 4. The multiple of 5 is 20. So we're going to be really focusing on multiples today. If I ask you, what is the fourth multiple of 8? You would say 8 times 4 in your mind and get 32. 32 is the fourth multiple of 8. What is the sixth multiple of 8? 48. What's the first multiple of 8? 8. These are multiples. There's so many more. What is the fifth multiple of 3? Automatically, you should say 3 times 5 is 15. So 15 is the fifth multiple of 3. What is the third multiple of 7? Well, you could say 7 times 1, 7 times 2, 7 times 3, stop. That is equal to 21. So the third multiple of 7 is 21. What is the 11th multiple of 3? Well, we could do 3 times 1, 3 times 2, 3 times 3. Or we could just say 3 times 11 is 33. 33 is the 11th multiple of 3. Multiples are the same as the products in the equations. It's asking for the same answer. Multiples are just answers to numbers that are factors. Same thing as the factors and the products. To find multiples, we can think about multiplication facts. This is very important. You need to know your multiplication facts. I kind of like this. Here's multiples go up to the mountains and factors go to the floor. So factors are less and multiples are more. If we multiply 3 by a number to get the multiple, then we can also divide the multiple by 3. Multiple of 3 is also divisible by 3. So if we can multiply by using the number 3, then we can also divide by using 3 or another number. How do you get a squirrel to like you? Answer the next 2 problems to figure out. Good luck. Input, output, my favorite. Input, 1 is going in and 8 is coming out. I don't know what's coming in the second row, but 16 is coming out. You need to find the missing numbers and then give me the pattern. And of course, show your work tomorrow. What is the 9th multiple of 6? How do you get a squirrel to like you? Act like a nut. Sometimes you feel like a nut. Sometimes you don't. Have a good night.